What's going on, guys? My name is Derek. Welcome to my channel in part 2 in working with the fuel system on my S1000RR track bike. In the last video, we replaced the fuel pump and we backwashed and cleaned out the fuel filter. In today's video, we're going to be cleaning the injectors. So enough talk. We got a lot of work to do today, so let's get right to it. All right, guys, so we are over here at the bike, and as I said in this video, it's all about cleaning the injectors, not necessarily about removing the injectors. So I'm not going to film all of the removing of the injectors, although our rain injectors here are pretty easy to get to. The fuel rail's right on top. We have four, looks like T20 Torx screws that we just need to remove. Then the fuel rail will come right up and off and we can remove the injectors. The lower injectors are below this air box and a little bit more difficult to get to. We need to remove the air box, which means we need to remove our ECU and our air filter and everything on top of here to get to the mounting hardware for the lower fuel rail. Again, that's not what this video is about. If you want to see that full video, head on over to my Patreon page. Check that out. I think my lowest entry for Patreon is like $1. And you'll be able to check out that video, and it helps the channel. So head on over there if you want to see the removal and everything that's involved in removing the fuel injectors from your 2011 or your first gen S1000RR. But through the magic of editing. All right, guys, so we are over here at my desk. These are the 4 lower injectors. These are the 4 upper rain injectors. How we're going to clean them. I went and got 2 bottles or 2 cans of Carb Clean at my local parts store. And then I picked up this little kit. Just makes it a little bit easier for testing. So basically, let me open this up. And I think I paid $45 or something like this. So it comes with a tester with these pigtails. So these 2 ends connect to a 12-volt battery, positive and negative. And then you got some other pigtails that connect directly to your fuel injector. So it doesn't make any difference which one goes on where. And then it comes with these plastic attachments, which goes on top of cap. So you'll remove that, remove the cap, and then one of these, based on your injector size, this will go right on top of here. Your injector will go in the hole. And then basically what you do is you got a couple of different modes here. So we have short pulse, medium pulse, long pulse, and then constant. And then you'll set the mode, then hit the button, and then press down on the can, and it'll shoot the cleaner through the injectors. We'll obviously need some type of container because this can sits vertical like this, and the injectors will sit like this, so they won't sit down. You can't spray into a can, so I'll need to get some type of container where it'll spray into and then run down and connect or collect, and not just spray all over the place. But let me get everything set up. I'll go and get my 12-volt battery, and we'll get our little spray booth, if you will, set up, and then we'll start cleaning these injectors. Well, good morning, guys. It is the next day. I had to cut everything short yesterday and had some family things I had to take care of. So it's the next morning, and I want to show you guys my setup before we started cleaning. So this is my setup. As you see, I got my 12-volt battery. I got my Sun tester. I got all my injectors ready, and then I got 2 bins, one sitting inside the other, along with my cleaner, the plastic attachment on top of the can. The injector is in the can. Then I found this pigtail. It basically was on an old MV F4 harness that I had sitting around. I just cut the pigtail off and connected to my Sun tester. So you can see the positive tester or positive lead is connected. I'm going to connect the negative lead. And when I do that, you can hear it click in there. And you can see the lights on the Sun tester come on. So I'm going to connect my negative lead. And then over here, I'm going to select mode. And I'm going to go to constant because I found that constant works best. So I'm going to go to number 4. And now we are ready to clean. Now I need both hands to do this. So I need to set this camera up on a tripod. But basically, use one hand to hold the injector in. And then the other hand to push down on my attachment here on top of the can. I need that because the the can provides enough pressure to push the injector right out of the attachment and sends it shooting forward. And I don't want that to happen. So I need to set this on the tripod, and then we'll get to cleaning. Injector off, and we'll go to the next one, and we will continue this process until they are all clean. Okay guys, so all 8 injectors are all clean, ready to install back in the bike, but 2 more quick things before we wrap up for this video. Okay, so the first is I went through about a can and a half. There's about half the can left in there to clean all 8 injectors. After I cleaned all 8 injectors, I grabbed my fuel injector cleaner and I put a little bit in this cup, on both of these cups. So over here we have the lower injectors and these are the upper injectors. And I'm submerging the tips, not the entire injector, not the O-ring. I don't know if you could see that there, but not the O-rings on the bottom, because if you submerge the O-rings in any type of liquids, they'll expand and then they won't you won't be able to install them until they dry out and shrink a little bit. But I'm submerging the tips in some cleaner just so I can keep everything clean before they go back in the bike. I don't want anything to dry out and crust up. So I'm submerging the tips. I'll probably install them tomorrow or later this evening off camera, but they're ready to go back in. The other thing related to the last video with the fuel pump. So here's the fuel pump, and you'll notice a new strainer on the bottom. I decided to cut off the old strainer and use the original mounting and put the new strainer on it. And it's also rotated 180 degrees. So the pump was rotated this way. The pigtails are on this side, and the fuel line was on the other side. I did that because I went back and I looked at the fuel pump when I took it out of the bike, and it was rotated and oriented in this position. So this is the correct position for the fuel pump. Now, I don't think it would actually matter in the grander scheme of things, but I wanted to be correct. The other thing, I decided to use this strainer as opposed to using this strainer that I decided to use initially when I replaced the pump. But this strainer set a lot higher up on the pump, and this sets a lot lower. You can see it's almost flush. This strainer is almost flush with the bottom of the fuel pump assembly, where this one sat a lot higher. I think it was about almost an inch or an inch and a half higher than this one, and I thought that might create pickup problems, and I didn't want to have any pickup problems. And obviously, if I kept the tank full when I'm on track, that wouldn't be an issue. But I didn't want to risk that in anything at all, so I decided to install that strainer. So FYI, if you watched my last video where I replaced the fuel pump, I replaced the strainer and I rotated the pump 180 degrees. But everything else here, the injectors are ready to go back in the bike. Oh, by the way, the fairings are back in from paint, all gloss, looking awesome. I'm going to be installing those later. So the next video you see, this bike is out on track at Thompson Speedway in Connecticut. I'll be riding with Tony's Track Days at the end of August. But yeah, that's about it. You guys know the drill. My name is Derek. Like, comment, share, subscribe, smash it if you didn't like it. Until next time, guys, take care.